Hi guys, got a comment from Lilipod on the LTN video that I uploaded today, or yesterday rather, saying that it could translate as London Transport Network, and I find that interesting because obviously we had the attack on the London Transport Network July 7th and July 7th, 2007, and in 2012 they did a terror drill practicing for an attack on the underground. They did it at a disused tube station called Aldwych, where stunned passengers staggered from the underground in a reminder of the July 7 bombings as part of a security drill for the London 2012 Olympic Games. Emergency services swarmed on the disused Aldwych station, a stone's throw from central London's Royal Courts of Justice to deal with what would be casualties in the mocked-up terror attack in the transport network. In the second half of her comment, she says Netanyahu was there for 7/7. They are after support for bombing Iran. Obviously, that part is opinion, and it may be correct. Netanyahu was there for 7/7, which brought me to the report of the exercise they did last year, where UK police hold training exercise to prepare for chemical attack on Israeli embassy. And that consisted of police carrying out a training exercise, which was the first of its kind to take place in a foreign embassy in the capital, which also involved firefighters and paramedics who rehearsed their response to casualties affected by a noxious substance. The embassy was cordoned off, and decontamination tents were erected at the back of the building, which is near Kensington Palace in central London. So you've got kind of like a link in there in terms of a former terrorist attack connected with the tube network, and chemical attack, which is interesting, obviously, because this year we've had the accusation of chemical weapons being used, or chemical substances rather, being used on UK soil, and that accusation has been leveled at Russia. Obviously, there's been heightened tensions because of that, but it all seems to kind of link to this narrative of a potential 9/11 style chemical attack on London. In terms of subliminal programming from the media, you've got the Spooks Code 9. I'm not going to play the video because I don't want to have to deal with doing it again because of copyright. But if you want to go and watch it, it's called Spooks Code 9, or on YouTube just type in Nuclear Attack on London and look for the BBC Three TV series, and you'll see there they have a nuclear explosion take place in London. But the point that I'm emphasizing on here is they have a shot where they show decontamination showers and decontamination tents. Obviously, that could be linked with nuclear fallout, but at the same time, it could be linked with chemical substances, which could be the underlying message there. In terms of even in games, again, I'm not going to actually play it, but you've got Modern Warfare 3, another terrorist attack on London. This one having a van pull up, the driver jumps out, obviously that's the supposed terrorist, and then an explosion takes place with a green substance which flows out afterwards. I think I can play like a section of it. So obviously they've made it green to let you know that it's a toxic, noxious substance, which would be a chemical attack of some kind. So in connection with 7/7, 2007, which is when the London bombings occurred, today on the lunar calendar would be the 7th lunar month and the 7th lunar day on the 17th of August. If there's any significance in numerology, then they may decide that 7/7 on the lunar calendar is a perfect time to kind of push terrorist attack in London, maybe connected with chemical weaponry or chemical substances, on 7/7, which would be obviously, you know, kind of a way of manipulating the date. And then obviously next week, in terms of looking out for, if it doesn't happen today, then I still would assume that the 27th would be a correct interpretation for the other event, which would be a tsunami water type event. We have tropical storm or hurricane Ernesto heading towards the UK, bringing with it torrential rain. So, you know, that's obviously connected to a water type event. Obviously, if it's strong and approaching the coast, then again, that would most likely cause the Royal Navy to divert off somewhere. If it's going to happen, Russian submarines could take advantage of that and slip through the English Channel into the Atlantic and up to the East Coast, preparing for the next stage of the attack. Ernesto, the name itself means serious, determined, or earnest. So obviously, you know, a serious storm is what I'm gathering from that. And obviously, I'll be updating today if there's any news of anything like what we talked about in terms of chemical weapon or chemical substance use. And again, keep an eye out on the 27th for this, well, around the 27th, I say, for this tropical storm on Ernesto, and see what kind of serious storm it turns out to be. You guys have a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and may the Heavenly Father bless you.